Welcome to the Motivational Medium podcast. I'm Anne-Marie Lord, a psychic medium, author, and the founder of the Motivational Medium Academy. On this podcast, we'll explore intriguing topics such as mediumship, psychic abilities, and the amazing idea that we all have intuition within us. Whether you're a believer, skeptic, or somewhere in between, get ready to unlock your extraordinary potential as we discover the supernatural world together. If you want your questions featured on the show, be sure to join my tribe by subscribing to my newsletter at annemarielord.com. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to Motivational Medium episode 2. In this episode, I want to tell you about some of the ways that I started on my path to spirituality, how I became motivational medium, if you like, and how I run my business and how I got to be able to retire from nursing to run a spiritual practice that I do every day, and I see people from all over the world. So I want to take you back a little bit to the beginning, really. So bearing in mind, from the last episode, I shared with you when I was a child, and I never spoke about this to anybody, only my immediate family. Well, this carried on as I got older. You know, I didn't want to tell people what I could see and what I couldn't see. And it was absolutely terrifying. For me, anyway, I felt like I would be judged by everybody. And especially being from a Catholic background as well. I just felt like everyone would judge me. And I decided consciously, well, that's not what I'm going to do. So as you know, if you've read my book, I went on and done my nursing, and I became a palliative care nurse, and I worked for many years as a nurse, and I loved being a nurse. However, this niggling thing about what I could see and what I could do never ever left. So I decided one time, many, many years ago, a friend of mine who I'd spoke about this in when we were both nursing together for Silver Chain, and I spoke to her about it, and she said, I've seen this group. She said, this psychic group, do you want to come with me? And I said, yeah, okay. So it goes along, and I'm absolutely terrified, thinking, oh my God, you know, I don't know what I was actually terrified of. You know, am I going to see a lot more? And, you know, am I ever going to be able to shut this down? And I didn't know what to expect, because I was never a person to be involved in spiritual churches or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, many people like me go and work in spiritualist churches and have amazing success with the most beautifulest people within these practices. But I just didn't do anything like that because I didn't want anyone to know about me and who I was and what I could do. So anyway, this time we decided to go along to this session. That's the only thing I can call it. It was like a psychic development lesson. And we're sitting in this circle and all these lights goes out and someone says, okay, now we need to build the power. Now, bearing in mind, I've never had nothing to do with any of this. I think I'd only been to see a medium about twice in my life. And I didn't have a clue what was going on. So all the lights were out, freaking myself out, sitting in this thing. No one explained what the power was. Absolutely no idea. So that's where I started from. Absolute scratch. No idea. So the lights comes back on and this lady says, okay, we're going to stand this lady up against the wall and you're going to lower your gaze and she may change. Her facial features may change. Her body image may change. And I was like, okay, what's all this about? I don't know what's going on. So I'm going along with it. I'm looking at this lady, and next minute, her face did change. She turned from a lady to this lady with a beard. She grew in size. So she went from a female to a male. Well, I'm absolutely freaking out by this time. And I'm looking at my mate and I'm saying, get me out of here. I don't know what's going on. You know, if they give us ayahuasca in the cup of tea or something. I was like freaking out. I wanted to leave. As soon as it was all, we'd done all the smiley stuff. And as soon as we'd said to everyone, I was like out of there, never to return. Absolutely terrified I was. Couldn't sleep because I'd seen this visual, what I know now as maybe shape-shifting. This vision had changed. So I was freaking out. Anyway, that was me. Comes home, says to my husband, never going anywhere near that again. this is definitely not for me. Shut the door. So a few years later, I went to see this lady, beautiful lady called Tracy Ann, and she was running a Reiki. All I can describe it as a Reiki night, if you like, in our local centre. So I thought, what's all that about? So I had a little read up on Reiki, and I really liked the idea of Reiki healing and how principles just for today, I will not worry. I loved all of it. So I thought I'd go along and see what it was all about. So, of course, a big long story short, that's what I did. I went along to see this lady. I had some Reiki healing, which I found absolutely amazing, and decided to go on the journey of Reiki. And what happened was I studied for Reiki 1 in 2009, and I loved this modality. So what I was doing is I was doing Reiki with people, and I decided to do Reiki on people in my home, in my office. And as soon as I put my hands on people, I'd feel like their mum had come through or their dad had come through or someone would want to speak to them. And I ended up giving them mini readings, but telling them, please don't tell anybody else, you know. And this is how it sort of grew. So I suppose I started my mediumship under the umbrella of Reiki. Now, I also sold crystals. I love crystals. So I decided I wanted to do crystal parties. So I used to go around to people's houses doing crystal parties. And then I'd bring through all these people and give messages and things like that in the security and safety of their own home. And then they just asked me, can you come and see me? But you don't have to bring the crystal stuff, just come and see us. So this is how the journey all began for me. And that's how I got out of the closet, as I call it. And don't get me wrong, you do get people, you know, what are you doing that? Or who do you think you are? And all this kind of stuff. And it can be a bit of a difficult journey to go on. But, you know, if you've got strong friends around you and a strong family and a strong heart and a belief in what you do, then you'll be okay. But make sure you go on the journey for you and for the people that you're going to speak to and for spirit. Okay? It doesn't matter about anybody else. It doesn't matter about the judgment that you're going to get from other people. I just let stuff roll off me back. It doesn't bother me. I turn up at my readings every day, 100% me. And as long as I continue to do that, I'm happy. But let me tell you as well, one of the other things that happened, talk about boundaries. As soon as you open that door or you open the spirit door, oh my God, you're seeing stuff in the night, you're getting visits in the day, you're hearing stuff, you're knowing stuff about people. I'd be sitting having a meal and next minute I'd look at someone and I'd think, oh gosh, their dad's over there or he's standing behind them. And I'd be trying to ignore them. And I remember going to a dentist and I'm in the dentist, and anyone that knows me knows I'm absolutely terrified of the dentist. So I goes to the dentist and I'm in the dentist chair. So I've got the nurse with a hose pipe in my mouth, as I call it. And then the dentist is working away on the other tooth. And I'm sitting there, and next minute, I just seen this guy in me head. And I'll explain a little bit about how I see the visions in a minute. But I just seen this guy in my mind's eye. And he's saying to me, oh, this is my daughter. So in my mind, I'm going, who's your daughter? So he says, the nurse is my daughter. And I'm like, oh, please go away. I'm having a panic here. Leave me to my own terrified devices as I'm shaking my way through getting this filling done in the chair. And next minute he's saying to me, can you just give her a message then and I definitely will leave you alone? Can you just tell her that her finances will become really better? Because she's really, really stressed about her finances and she's really, really worried and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, please go away. And I didn't know what to do. So I ignored him. I asked him in my mind's eye, please go away. So I ignored him. And then I contacted an old medium that I'd known who's been doing this for many, many years. Because don't forget, I'm new to all this. Although you can see dead people in your mind's eye and although you know stuff and although you feel stuff, all the technical stuff of how to stop this and how to start it and how to not see people in coals eluded me. So I was on a big journey of learning and this is where I went. So I contacted this medium who I knew was very knowledgeable within her field. And I said to her, what do I do? And she said, ignore them. She said, if you ignore them, you're setting boundaries and it will help them know when to come in and when not to come in. So that's what I do. When I go to work in my office, that's when Spirit knows it's time to open up. It's time for me to work. And when I come home or I go to have me wax done or I go to have my teeth pulled or filled, that's my time. So on this journey, even though I'll talk to you more about these little hints and tips on how to learn and grow in your own intuition and your own spiritual journey, this is my journey. Some people might have different experiences, but this was mine. And the more I did that and the more I opened up and sat and gave sacred space to listen to messages and then closed down, the more Spirit got to respect this journey. And the opening up and the closing for me became a lot easier. So I wanted to share that with you because if there's any of you guys who are going along this journey, if you feel you're getting contacted all the time and you're answering, then you're not setting boundaries and you're not setting a sacred space for yourself or for Spirit. Okay? So with the Reiki, I still love Reiki today. I still practice on myself and I still teach it. But I also do lots and lots of reading, psychic and mediumship. And I've learned how to have my boundaries. And it's one of the most important things I think that we can have as mediums and as psychics. If we put our boundaries up, you do it with people and you do it with spirits. And they will appreciate that and they will understand your boundaries and respect them. Okay. So I hope that helps you guys out there that is going through this journey yourself. And yeah, sometimes it can be hard and sometimes not so hard. But just make sure you respect your boundaries. Now, I just want to go to one of my questions that I received. So before I forget, I want to remind you that if you want a question answered on the show, on the podcast, please subscribe to the newsletter and then you can send me a question when the newsletter comes out. When I send you a newsletter to say, okay, I'm taking questions again, you will be on the list to receive that. All right. So now this is a question I got from a lovely lady called Kerry. And she said, hi, Anne-Marie, very excited about the new podcast. Thanks, Kerry. It's a great idea. Thank you. My question would be, can you see a career change ahead in the new year? Kerry, the first thing I got for you was not a career change, but a bringing in a new adventure. I felt like there was a birth of a new idea. So it's not stopping what you're doing and creating something new. I call it a bolt-on. So I feel like there's something new coming in for you, but it's going to add to what you're doing right now. So you're not going to change your career, you're going to grow it. Okay? So it's a bolt-on to what you're already doing. It's a new idea. It's going to be successful, but it's going to take a little bit of hard work. Massively successful. I've just pulled out one of my angel cards and it shows me the gold, the timing's right for this, the stepping forward, a little bit of vulnerability and a little bit of fear, but it will be successful. So you haven't got to do this. I can't tell anyone how to live their life. But what I would say is this is a golden opportunity. Don't try and step back, step forward. Okay? I need you to remember that. Don't step back, step forward. Okay. And before we go, for all you other guys out there as well, let me give you a little card reading and see what we've got coming up for you. Okay. Now it's funny because I've just said to Kerry there's birth of new ideas and that card has actually come out again. However, this time it's in a different direction. This time it's about family. This time it's about a new addition coming to the family. So this could be a new baby or it could be a new animal. But there's definitely a new addition coming to the family and it just brings so much joy and so much enlightenment. Okay? So for any of you that are trying to get pregnant, maybe this is what you need to hear today. Then all of you that might be thinking about buying a new cat, a dog, a budgie, a bird, I don't know, whatever. This might be your sign you need for go and get it. All right. So there's definitely a new addition coming to the family and it's going to come with absolute beautiful abundance, and it will make a happy change. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this show, and I will talk to you all soon. And don't forget, please subscribe to my newsletter and send in your own questions. I will talk to you all soon. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this show. It's important to note that while I'm here to inspire, encourage and guide you, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist or a doctor. Join me again in 2 weeks for more captivating revelations on the supernatural. Remember to be in with a chance to have your questions answered on the podcast. Subscribe to my newsletter at AnneMarieLord.com. Stay in the tribe to vibe. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.